Hi there, it's day 29 of your reset. It's Monday, so we're at this is the last week. We're approaching the very last days of the program, and you're probably feeling fantastic and can't wait to finish, which is right and good because, it is really great to get towards the finishing line of a program like this, which can be sort of quite intense and has required a lot of your best efforts. So in case you've found this video on YouTube and you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a link in the video notes below and you can just jump across to the page on my website and that will explain everything about this 31-day detox and reset program, which sort of dives deep into all of the reasons behind the recommendations of the paleo diet, the ancestral health model, the primal health model. And so today today we're getting into the fourth element, the fourth element, which is connection, and the title here is quality time. Now my website is called Quality Life, and I think if you ask people what actually constitutes a quality life, high up on the list of factors is quality time. And for good reason, because it really is, quality time really is the key for health and longevity and happiness. So, and all of the studies agree with this, but we really don't need the science to understand it. We know it intuitively. Love and friendship and socializing and time spent in nature are essential. Yeah, they're essential for our well-being. So connect, cultivate strong relationships with others, with self and with nature. Human beings are social creatures, and without strong family and tribal networks, we would never have survived. We're also extremely complex, and satisfying our physiological needs is simply not enough for good health. We need to nurture the spiritual, emotional, intellectual, and energetic aspects of our being in order to reach our potential. And within the philosophical school of yoga, these facets are known as the kosha. And the kosha comprise matter, energy, mind, emotion, and spirit. So thousands of years before the psychoanalysts Freud and Jung, yoga philosophy recognized that the process of personal development is a series of steps which are often referred to within the school of yoga as branches or limbs. I prefer to think of them as the growth rings of a tree trunk or the layers of an onion. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, 8 branches are described, and if we move from the periphery of worldly preoccupations towards the center, which is spiritual realization, they encourage us to examine the many relationships that constitute the various aspects of our lives. So we'll go through this really quickly because it is quite fascinating how advanced the yoga philosophy was, going back thousands of years. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Yama concerns our relationship to the world and society. So the yamas constitute various laws that form the basis of safe and respectful culture. So non-violence, truthfulness, not stealing, sexual respect, and non-possessiveness. The niyama considers the relationship that we have with ourself, right? So from the world to ourself, our habits, our attitude, personal hygiene. The niyamas include purity of mind, speech, and body, an optimistic outlook, self-discipline, self-reflection, and spiritual contemplation. And then the asana is about the relationship that we have with our body, with our physical posture, our strength, balance, flexibility. When the Western world thinks of yoga, it usually refers to asana, the practice of yoga postures. Pranayama examines the relationship that we have with our breath. The breath is the language of the nervous system as well as the embodiment of vital energy. And so by working with the rhythm and the quality of the breath cycle, we can powerfully impact upon our mental and emotional health. Pratyahara focuses on the relationship that we have with our 5 senses, our capacity to withdraw from external stimuli and focus inwards. It helps us distinguish between action and reaction, and by reducing the distractions of the outer world, we become sensitive to what's going on inside. So dharana is about the relationship that we have with the mind. Stress accumulates when we have too many things going on at once, when our thoughts jump madly from one object to another. And when we tame the monkey through focus and concentration, we're blessed with calm and clarity and space. Dhyana is about the relationship that we have with our spirit. It's meditation, the deep connection and communication between our inner self and the universal flow. And samadhi describes the relationship that we have with pure consciousness. It's the ultimate goal of the spiritual journey. The ego dissolves, our individual essence merges blissfully into the great universal life force, and notwithstanding the trance-like state, consciousness is fully aware of the experience. So you can see how the Yoga Sutras describe a process of personal growth and provide a map for that journey. And achieving spiritual enlightenment may not be on our agenda for this lifetime, but nonetheless, by acknowledging and nurturing these external and internal relationships, we'll be rewarded with a balanced state of holistic health, spirit, mind, and body. So in the paleo reset, connect is the fourth element, and it refers to the way we connect with ourselves, with others, and with the world. And it's one of the things that I love about the ancestral health model. You know, it's this, that it recognizes that these connections are not a luxury, but they're necessary. Our DNA responds positively to relationship, to conversation, to relaxation, contemplation, to quiet time with few distractions. So far in this program, you've been encouraged to focus a lot on yourself. You've been encouraged to nourish the body through food choices, to boost energy and strength with physical movement, to stimulate the mind by reading the material and learning the whys of the recommendations, and to know yourself through affirmations and journaling. But all of these have little value if we aren't enriched and restored by strong and deep connections. So to cultivate quality relationships with self, others, nature, and world, all of these are important. We need solitude, right? We need to spend time alone every day, even if it's only for a few minutes, yeah? And as we know from the chapter on cortisol, and as mentioned above, focusing on the breath cycle is a simple and powerful way to calm down the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mechanism, and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is tend and befriend. We need real relationships. We need to cultivate mutual relationships of generosity and kindness. So strong and supportive relationships stimulate the immune system and help us cope with life's problems. And they delay mental and physical decline and are essential for a long life. And we need to spend time in nature. When we're outdoors and in nature, our senses intensify and stress melts away. The cells of our body are energized and regenerated through the charge of negative ions. We need the vitamin D that's best synthesized through sunlight. We need to make sure that all of these connections don't fall low on our list of priorities. They're too important. So some suggestions here as to how to slow life down and make time for what counts. It really is about planning quality time with family and with friends, with community, with nature. It's about planning time for self-care. So schedule a half hour alone each day when you don't need to do anything. Write and repeat your positive affirmations. Keep a gratitude journal. Spend time on a hobby. Set the timer. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. These are beautiful ways of giving yourself a little bit of self-care. Your family and close relationships. Turn off the TV and technology and spend real time with your family and with your pets. Plan fun and stimulating weekend outings. And if the weather's good, go outside, go outdoors, especially out into nature. And if it's bad weather, visit museums and art galleries, which are so satisfying and so enriching. Your friends, cultivate mutual relationships based on the values of kindness and generosity. So the questions to ask yourself here are, who would you do a favor for right away? If you received a call and someone said, I need a hand, who are the people who you would just drop everything for and run to straight away? And who can you call upon when you need help? Yeah, so these are the kind of relationships of mutual kindness and generosity that we want to cultivate. And I think another really good practice is to pick up the phone and use your voice instead of just being stuck in that habit of sending text messages all the time. It's really easy to pick up the phone and talk. Yeah, our voices convey a lot. Community. It's good to find a way to contribute to and participate in the life of your local community. Volunteering your time, participate in community events is really rewarding. Don't stay at home saying that there's nothing to do. Like, get out and be an active part of what's going on. And nature, yeah, nature is my favorite. Yeah, buy a house plant. If you don't have access to a lot of nature, or even if you do, buy house plants and take care of them and talk to them and look at them and treat them with love. Find green spaces, sit and contemplate in them. Take off your shoes and socks and walk barefoot. This is another big area of primal life which I haven't been able to address in this course. Spend time absorbing the sun's rays and remember that our genes have evolved to respond positively to the sights and the sounds and the smells of nature. So enjoy life in the open air as much as possible. Okay, so that's it. Now, in the eat section, there's a lovely recipe for one of my favorite desserts there. Fresh fig dessert cake. I think you can make it with apples or with pears. So there's a link there to the recipe, because getting towards the end of the program, it's nice to think that there's a lovely treat ahead. Even though treats are allowed on this program, as long as they're made with the recipes in the recipe book. And yeah, so that's it for today. Recommendation today is to do a bit of a sprint if you're feeling high in energy. Remember to read through the advice there, so that you know that you're doing it correctly. And that's it. Motivation today is the gratitude practice, and today I'm very thankful for you. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.